dance, and heal all in the same verse. But behind Fiji's warm island melodies and chart-topping reggae hits lies a story that few truly know. A story of heartbreak, resilience, and a voice that almost never made it to the mic. From the lush, sun-kissed shores of Fiji to the blazing spotlight of Hawaii's reggae scene, George "Fiji" Veikoso isn't just a singer, he's a living legend. But fame came at a price. This is not just a story of music, but of deep roots, cultural pride, personal demons, and an unwavering spirit that refused to be silenced. In a world of digital one-hit wonders, Fiji stood tall for decades, and yet very few know what he endured behind closed doors. This isn't just about success, it's about survival. You've heard his songs. Now it's time to hear his truth. Subscribe for more Fame Insights, where real stories, emotions, and legends come alive. George Brooks Veikoso, known to fans worldwide as simply Fiji, was born into the musical heart of the South Pacific. Born in Fiji in 1970, George grew up immersed in the harmonious rhythms of island life. The crashing waves, the evening chants, the ancestral hymns, all these sounds shaped his soul. His family was musically inclined. Fiji's grandfather was a well-known choir master, and singing at church was almost like breathing. His uncles played guitar and ukulele. His mother sang traditional songs during household chores. Music wasn't just a pastime, it was the pulse of daily life. As a child, George's voice stood out, deep, soulful, and packed with emotion far beyond his years. That voice would one day move hearts across continents. His earliest memories include singing in the church choir barefoot, harmonizing with older singers who immediately recognized his gift. But everything changed when his family moved to Hawaii. Culture shock hit like a tidal wave. He was the new kid with the strange accent and island customs, bullied, misunderstood, isolated. But music remained his escape. In church, he found solace. In school, he found purpose. He joined choirs, talent shows, and soon began performing with local bands. In his late teens, he joined the band Root Strata and quickly became a standout voice in the local music circuit. But even then, he dreamed bigger. He wanted to bring island stories to the world, to tell tales of pain, love, hope, and identity through music that spoke to every Pacific heart. His solo career took off in the 90s. Albums like Evolution, Born and Raised, and Gratitude weren't just commercial successes. They were cultural landmarks. Fiji fused reggae with soul, R&B, gospel, and Polynesian melodies. His music became an anthem for islanders, immigrants, dreamers, and broken hearts. He sang in English. He sang in Fijian. He sang in the universal language of emotion. And slowly, track by track, he built a bridge between cultures. He wasn't just representing Fiji or Hawaii. He was singing for every islander who had ever felt overlooked. And his voice? One of a kind, smooth yet gritty, comforting yet powerful, like velvet dipped in sea salt. When Fiji sang, it felt like home. With fame came trials, personal, emotional, public. As Fiji rose to the top of Pacific music charts, the spotlight grew hotter. The expectations were relentless. He wasn't just making music. He was becoming the voice of a people. Every lyric, every decision, every move was watched. That pressure cracked even the strongest parts of him. Rumors began to swirl. Allegations of substance use, legal entanglements, missed shows, silent periods. For a while, it felt like Fiji was drifting. Fans whispered, "Is he okay? Is he coming back?" The turning point came when Fiji faced a publicized legal case involving a domestic issue. It shook his fan base. The media jumped in, often painting him as just another troubled celebrity. But what many failed to see was a man who was hurting, a man confronting years of internal battles, cultural displacement, and emotional pain. Instead of hiding, Fiji faced it head-on. He took responsibility. He sought help. He pulled back from fame not to escape, but to heal. And when he returned, it wasn't with an apology. It was with a roar. His voice, rawer and deeper, told stories that were now laced with pain and perseverance. He released more personal music. Songs like Lonely Days, Warrior of Love, and Sweet Darlin' felt different. These weren't just hits. They were his diary. His soul laid bare. Behind the scenes, friends said Fiji cut ties with toxic circles. He went into therapy. He traveled back to his homeland for spiritual reconnection. He found himself again. And he began to speak openly about addiction, family, and forgiveness. The world responded. Loudly, emotionally, some were hurt, others angry. but many embraced him tighter than ever. Fans took to social media in droves. One Instagram comment read, "Fiji didn't just sing about love. He showed us how to fight through the darkness. I'm still with you, brother." Artists stood by him. J. Boog called him the OG who paved the way. The Green released a tribute performance of one of Fiji's classics. Common Kings dedicated a track to him during a live show in Honolulu. Their message? We don't abandon our heroes. Cultural leaders stepped forward too. In Fiji and Samoa, elders and scholars reminded their communities of the importance of forgiveness and support. The comeback tour was more than just music. It was a cultural celebration. Fans wore island flowers. Elders brought grandchildren. People of all generations sang along. He shared personal stories on stage. Opened up about depression, identity, and spirituality. His vulnerability became his strength. And just like that, a new chapter began. Beyond the lights, Fiji is deeply spiritual. He prays before every show, visits local churches on tour, and lights candles for his ancestors. He said in interviews that he feels guided by those who came before. What fans also don't see? His quiet generosity. Fiji has quietly mentored dozens of young Pacific artists. He's bought studio time for beginners, helped young kids write their first songs, paid tuition for music school, all off the record. He once spent an entire summer teaching music at a small youth center in Samoa, completely unpaid. He also runs a small nonprofit that helps underprivileged youth in Fiji access musical instruments. And here's a touching detail. In every city he tours, he finds a local food vendor and blesses them with a huge tip. He says it's his way of giving back to people who feed souls. He also records short messages for fans going through hard times. Voice notes, prayers, songs, never posted online. Just shared quietly, human to human. Kaleo Mahalona, a cultural historian at the University of Hawaii, shared this. Fiji didn't just break musical barriers, he broke emotional ones. He told Pacific youth that their feelings, struggles, and dreams mattered. He made it okay for brown men to cry, for islanders to hurt, heal, and rise. Mahalona went on to say that Fiji's discography is now considered essential in Pacific Island studies. He took reggae, a Jamaican-born genre, and made it Polynesian. He added our soul, our stories, our scars. Some universities in the Pacific now teach courses based on his lyrics. His impact has crossed into academia, culture, and even activism. His lyrics are analyzed not just for musicality, but for emotional literacy. Fiji's music is played at weddings, funerals, protests, graduations, and healing circles. His voice has become a soundtrack for the Pacific experience. He inspired a generation of artists to stay rooted, to use their native tongues, to speak of their homeland and heartache. He made it cool to represent the islands. He made it powerful to be vulnerable. His story reminds us that no matter how far we rise, our scars travel with us. And that's okay. What matters is how we carry them and who we help along the way. Fiji's journey is often compared to legends like Bob Marley or Tupac, artists who sang their truth, even when it hurt. But Fiji is unique. He carried the soul of a scattered people. He wasn't just creating hits, he was preserving culture. Like Lauryn Hill, he disappeared at times, but every return was stronger. Like DMX, he sang from a place of inner torment and spiritual seeking. But perhaps his closest mirror is Israel Kamakawi Wo'ole, another island soul who bore the weight of a people through music. Both left legacies bigger than fame. So the next time you hear Fiji's voice, remember the boy from the islands. The man who fell, the artist who rose. George Fiji Veikoso gave us more than music. He gave us pieces of his soul. Even after decades in the game, Fiji's influence hasn't dimmed. Fans sharing old concert photos, lyrics that carried them through breakups, long drives, family gatherings. Artists he mentored posted heartfelt tributes, calling him the bridge between our ancestors and our future. Even international stars like J. Boog, The Green, and Common Kings posted broken-hearted goodbyes. Many admitted there would be no Polynesian reggae wave without Fiji. Though Fiji had battled health issues in recent years, he continued to perform, record, and inspire. Just weeks before his passing, he had been in the studio, working on what he called his soul project, an album blending ancient Pacific chants with modern roots reggae. He never finished it, but those close to him say there are unreleased vocals, unfinished verses, and handwritten lyrics in his notebook that may still see the light of day. His team is now discussing how to respectfully share this final chapter with the world, not for profit, but for remembrance. Because Fiji wasn't chasing charts anymore, he was chasing truth. The sound will never die. Though the man is gone, his music lives louder than ever. Every time Sweet Darlin' plays at a wedding, every time Smokin' Session rides through a lazy Sunday breeze,